Peace and love. Let's do a quick reading with our plant allies to see what messages they might have for us. I have two decks here. I have the Herbal Astrology Oracle, and then I have the Green Witches Oracle deck. And so we'll start with the Herbal Astrology. Give me a moment, please. Thank you, Spirit, for your courage, for your truthfulness, honesty. Thank you, angels, for your protection, ancestors, for your knowledge, wisdom, Most High, creative energies, Mother, Father, Sun, Moon, for the gift of life. Spirit, what messages do you have for us as we move into the new year? Mother Earth, what message do you have for us? Utilizing your plant allies, Earth's medicine, the original medicine. What messages do you have for us to aid in our healing as we move into the new year, as we prepare our minds to move into the new year, as we look forward to a new vision? Thank you, angels. We have Conduit, Amanita, the mushrooms. Ginseng, the Magician. Already a very beautiful energy here. Joy with hibiscus. We have Nettle, Action. Thank you, Spirit. And bear with me. I'm going to have a sip of my water in a few. I'm sick recently, so I'm still in the process of strengthening my throat chakra. All right. We have the B, Community, Cooperation, and Sweetness. We have the Soil, Stability, Simplicity. And we have the Earthworm, Clarity, Rumination. Then on the bottom here, we have the Cauldron, Creation, Opportunity, and Caring. Spirit is saying that you are a conduit, which is a connector. A connector can be between the earthly and the spiritual, like the work that I do here. A conduit can be a peacemaker in an office or any type of work setting. The idea of a conduit as a connector is bringing things together, bringing two ideas, or more than two, bringing ideas together. Right? Conduit is the idea of, on a spiritual level, connecting with the higher realms, accessing the higher self, utilizing the third eye and the crown chakra. Okay. Spirit is saying that this is your gift because we have the Magician card here. This is how you create. This is how you heal. This is how you help. This is how you honor those in your community. Underneath the conduit, the community can either be physical or it can be spiritual. This particular reading will appeal to you based on who you are and your particular purpose on this earth in this lifetime. If you read cards, if you work with spiritual energies, if you're a medium like me, that's also being a conduit, and your community are the ancestors, it's the spiritual helpers in the other dimensions, it's connecting with the angels, it's connecting with the higher self, right? We already understand the connection with the higher self, connection with the angels. All that requires the access to the heart chakra. Understand the importance of love and the openness of the heart chakra when it comes to any type of spiritual work. On this particular channel, the work that I do is about loving people and loving the self fully, honestly, and openly. In loving ourselves openly, we allow the messages of the Most High, okay, the creative energies, Mother, Father, the sun, the moon, the Holy Spirit, whatever it is to you to speak to the soul, it's the heart space. If you operate in anger, if you operate in hatred, if you operate in jealousy, in those lower level energies, you won't be able to access the energy properly because your heart is not fully open. Right? It requires work. It requires patience, and it takes time. Going back into the soil, going back to the beginning, understanding the origin of the seed, the deepness of the seed, as it sits in the earth, surrounded by the darkness, surrounded by the moisture. What do you want to produce? How do you want to sprout? And what flower do you want to emerge as? That's the energy of the magician. You decided with the mind, and the magician brings it forth into the physical realm, right? The seed is planted in the spiritual, and the magician brings it into the physical. Okay. The joy is found through the communication as a conduit, all right? Bringing things together, the connection, the connector, right? The link is the link. Bringing those things together brings the joy in whatever way that means for you and your spiritual purpose here on this planet. All spiritual work isn't like what you see me doing here. The work pertains to whoever you are and whatever your soul would have you do, right? Every occupation, there's a need for a spiritual mindset. If you're operating in that spiritual mindset, you automatically bring about a spirit of joy. It's something about hibiscus that I really love. It's a tartness, but it's a brightness, and it has the ability to color the whole cup. If you have hibiscus in your tea, the whole tea would be the brightest red, even if it's only a few leaves. So your gift has the ability to brighten any type of circumstance, any type of environment, just by being you, just by speaking the way you speak. Because this particular woman, she has this energy coming out of her mouth, this power that's emanating out of her mouth by the things that she says, how she speaks to others, the love she speaks to others. The idea of this hummingbird, people flocking to you because you are a conduit, because you are a connector, being able to provide words of peace, words of love, which are the nectar here as the hummingbirds drink from this nectar around the headdress. Having sweetness to offer, okay? Before you give the sweetness to others, make sure you give the sweetness to yourself. Right? Thinking before you speak with the rumination. But knowing that what you're saying and what you're thinking is true, because don't forget you have the connection here with the conduit energy. We have sweetness here both with the bee energy and the honey, and then we have the nectar with the hummingbird. Making sure that you're bringing sweetness into your life with how you speak to yourself. It was a reading I did earlier when I talked about that. But speaking to others with kindness in your heart and love in your heart, even if it's difficult, okay? We control our vibration, and we control our vibration by the things that we say and the things that we do. Honoring your ancestors with how you speak, honoring yourself by speaking truth. Making sure that we're in communities that bring true fulfillment here. Communities where we work together, but mainly this community here, the spiritual helpmates, making sure that they are part of everything that you do, every step that you take, that you're honoring them. Spirit is saying it's time for action. Nettle is interesting. They call it stinging nettle as well. So things can be serious right now. I will be honest. The times that we're living in right now are extremely serious, right? There are a lot of things happening in the world that we live in. A lot of things happening in our communities. A lot of things happening globally. Things are changing. Things are being brought to light. Things are surprising some, but not surprising all. But for those that are surprised, there can be a lot of hurtfulness in the world, a lot of hurtfulness coming to light and being brought into the surface. Speak kindness to those people, all right, who need to have someone care for them in these times of being unsure. That's your job as well, or your spiritual gift. Spirit is saying being reliable like the soil, okay? But also nourishing yourself, because sometimes soil can become depleted. And when you try to plant seeds in soil that's depleted, nothing can sprout from it, right? So making sure that you're nourishing yourself by how you speak, by bringing that sweetness into your life, by caring for your body, right? We have ginseng and we have the nettle. Both of those are um, allies that require movement. They're energetic, okay? They're energetic herbs. Right? Going down to the root of things with the ginseng, you have the ginseng card and then you have the soil right underneath it. Not being afraid to get down to the root of the issue, not being afraid to replant yourself, to uproot, because this magician has uprooted this ginseng, okay? Uproot yourself from a negative situation here with the stinging nettle, something that might sting, and moving towards a richer soil and planting yourself again. Don't be afraid to do that. Also, being careful of who you deal with, of who you share your information with the conduit. I love mushrooms, but those they're beautiful, but you have to be careful, okay? Because some of them can be deadly. So we want to make sure that we are sharing with the right people, we're creating with the right people, we're loving the right people, we're honoring the right people, okay? The earthworm, vulnerability. We have the soil and we have the earthworm going within, going into a place where you might have to step away from society for a moment and work on your healing and work on yourself, bringing out ways to find those simplistic ways of bringing joy into your life before you step out. The earthworm is an inward energy, okay? It's that idea of aerating the soil. When we talk about the depletion of the soil, the earthworm will bring the nutrients, right? So it's the period of bringing nutrients into the soil. How can I bring nutrients into my soil if it's depleted? What can I do for myself if my energy level is depleted? How can I work on myself when I feel like I have nothing to give, right? That's the energy of the spiritual community, all right? That's the energy of the bee in the Amanita. We have the cauldron here and the seeds that we want to plant in that soil that's going to be rich and full of nourishment. While we're planting those seeds, we're envisioning the cauldron and the elements that we want to put in it. And as we're envisioning it, we're becoming the magician, right? It says creation, opportunity, and caring for the body. So the cauldron can really just be something that you cook on the stove for yourself, making yourself a, warm cup of apple cider, making yourself a hot cup of tea, making a warm soup, brewing something on the stove that can bring scent into the home, brewing something on the stove that can bring protection into the home. Understanding the magic really is what you make it. Whatever I create and whatever I put into this cauldron, I say to myself and I say to my spiritual team, thank you, ancestors, for the healing that's about to occur. Thank you, Spirit, for the protection that's about to be brought upon me and my household. Whatever ingredients you put into that cauldron, you sprinkle them in there and you say those words. We are the creators. We are the initiators. We have the power. The power comes through the words, through the intention. We speak it. We speak it into the herbs, right? The herbs are powerful on their own, but how powerful can the herbs be when we speak to them and when we acknowledge their gifts and we acknowledge their strength and we acknowledge how ancient they are and that they were here before us and that their wisdom was here and will continue to be here long after we're gone. That makes them extremely powerful, more powerful than we can ever imagine, right? And so we give thanks to them for that. The roots here, healthy patterns, early growth. What type of roots are we cultivating if we're sitting in soil that is depleted? What type of roots are we cultivating if we're not speaking sweetness into our beings? What type of roots are we cultivating if we're in environments where we don't trust ourselves and we don't trust the people that are around us? Be wary of that. The scythe or the sickle, cutting away anything. It says focus, regrowth, and letting go. Cutting away anything that would do harm to the spirit, that would do harm to the foundation, and that would stifle the growth of the seed and damage the nourishment in the soil. The magician is a beautiful thing, but the magician requires a powerful and firm foundation, okay? Magician can be depleted too. That's why we want to make sure that whatever we create, that the foundation and the soil, really, before we even get to the foundation, we want to talk about the soil. That the soil is made to last. Okay, Give me 3 cards. Thank you, Spirit. It's okay to be the earthworm. It's okay to start from scratch. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to go within. It's okay to hide away for a moment to heal. That's what I think about with that earthworm. It's a gentle energy. We have simplification, simplifying your life, focusing on the quality of the soil. Let's focus on the quality of the soil. Let's envision the seed and let's prepare the soil. Envision the seed and prepare the soil. It says self-worth. We want to think about this hibiscus energy, bringing that joy into our lives by speaking it over the body, speaking it over the mind, speaking it over the heart. I love who I am. Maybe you're not there yet, but say it anyway. I love who I am. I love what I have to offer the world. I love my mind. I'm ready to open my heart. I'm ready to be honest. I'm ready to be free. Spontaneity, okay? Those are the energies of the nettle. Those are the energies of the ginseng. Once we prepare that soil, once we make sure that it has the nutrients that it needs for optimal seed growth, when we plant that seed, we want to be prepared to burst forward with life. We want to be able to, or be prepared to burst forward with creativity, with that new vision. We don't prepare the soil and plant the seed to stay in the earth, okay? The spontaneity comes when we're able to rise out and face the sun, okay? With strength, with courage, right? Open-mindedness. Here's the thing too. Maybe we ask our ancestors to prepare the seed. Maybe we ask them to prepare the seed. Maybe we envision the future and we envision how we love ourselves. We envision speaking kindness over our hearts and speaking kindness to others. And we ask our ancestors to prepare the seed as we prepare the soil. As we bring nutrients into the soil, when we plant that seed, maybe it's time to be surprised by what sprouts. Because maybe the ancestors know something that we don't know. Maybe our spiritual team, maybe they know something that we don't know, or that maybe they know something that we don't know, or they could see something that we can't envision. Because their sight is beyond us. Clear the way with the sickle. This also is tilling the soil, aerating the soil, moving the soil around, okay? If it's been compacted, if you have plants and you have soil that's been compacted and you try to water your plants, the water doesn't go through the soil anymore, right? It goes around the pot and it goes straight to the bottom and drops out the hole in the bottom, and that's it. The roots don't get any moisture, or the soil, or the water hits the top of the dirt, but it doesn't go throughout the dirt because it's compacted. The soil needs to be aerated. It needs to be moved around. All right? It needs to be refreshed. So if you've been sitting in some type of soil for too long, whatever that means, Spirit is saying that it's time to uproot yourself out that soil with the ginseng energy. It's time to take the sickle, move the soil around. It's time to add nutrients into it with how you're speaking, how you're envisioning. Cauldron, how do you want to create? Once you do that, Spirit says, I will provide you with the seed. Okay? Let's see, do I want to pull one more? Or do we want to leave it with that? We'll leave it there. All right, peace.